Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is A Woman's Prerogative. And our subject is 5 topics women like to talk about, according to men. So I can't wait to bring the ladies out for this one. Joining us today is Jenetta Barry in the Epiphany Process. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Good
hello.
to see you too.
Hello, Caroline Heward, the Harley Street stress expert. Nice to have you.
Good
and
to be here.
hello to Dr. DESZIREE Richardson. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Desiree.
Nice to see you,
Hi.
DESZIREE. Hi.
Great to see you. Yeah, great to see you. A beautiful panel again, and it's always a pleasure to be here among such women of inspiration and prestige. And to
Yes.
everyone watching, we welcome you all the time.
We sure do. We're always happy when Dr. DESZIREE is with us, so thank you again. And our dear friends, Dr. Chan and Mariska, are not with us today. They are on holiday, so it will just be us for now. So I did some research about women's topics, and I found a gentleman who was citing for other men 5 topics women like to talk about. I thought, oh, that's interesting. I'd love to get your, and by the way, it was all women. It was in quotes, all women like to talk about these subjects. So before I even mention them, do you think it's possible that every single woman across the world wants to talk about the same 5 things?
Absolutely not. I think it depends on your interests, and it also depends on your on your age group. I mean, what I like to talk about in my early 20s is like 180 degrees now. So yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
Anybody else want to have a comment on that?
I'm in agreement with you, Jenetta.
Yes, it all depends.
What I was talking about when I was 21 is nothing like what I talk about now. So I'm in agreement with you.
In fact, I was having a think about it before we came, when we were backstage. And I remember when I was a new mother, I hated it, I must tell you. But when I was a new mother, my whole group of women, all they could talk about was nappies and bottles and lack of sleep and what to use for this. And I used to sit there in the group going, oh, this is so boring. But I mean, that was that phase and age. So yeah, you can't say.
It does change. Dr. DESZIREE?
Well, you know, like she mentioned, what's her name? Sorry, in Kenya. She mentioned that, yes, depends on the, the age bracket, women in the younger age, as we say like 30s, in the early 30s, to women in their 40s, 50s, all depends. I think when you're young, at a younger, age, like say, for instance, if you're in your early 20s, I think some of the topics that I think that women that age talk about, or even could be just a little younger, is he cheating? And even sometimes up to a bigger age as well, but it all depends on, on their ability to, to master, their thoughts and to get the signals and the red flags. But on the other side, there's always that friend that you can trust and somebody that you can, rely on, for some girl talk, some advice. And one of the things is, yes, a lot of women talk about, they ask their friends, do you think that he's cheating on me? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
That's
funny,
true.
but it's the truth. I'm sure
Right.
all of you probably, if you were cheated on before, probably would have, asked your mother, a sister, or your best friend or coworker, what do you think of all these signs? So yes, I think that's a lot of information that, sometimes we as individuals can share with those close to us as well.
Thanks for sharing that. I'm going to go
Do
into
you
the
guys
first.
agree? Do you guys agree that women talk about that? Is he cheating on me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
For sure. And did you see the way he looked at her? All right.
Yeah.
So the first topic, according to men, that all women want to talk about is their sign. What's your sign? What's your sign in zodiac, astrology, your horoscope? What are your thoughts on this? We just did a show on this actually last week about astrology and our signs, but is that something you really want to talk about?
That's not something
Yeah.
I usually say, only because I don't know too much about it and wouldn't know how to correlate. When somebody tells me their sign, I go, oh, right, okay. And then I sort of do my best to work it out, but it wouldn't be what I would ask because I don't live predominantly in that space of, sort of matching myself with my star sign.
Caroline, thank you. Anyone else? So in other words, it's a topic that you want someone to ask you. JENETTA, what's your sign? Ooh, are you into your horoscope? Is that something that you want people to ask you?
Not particularly. I mean, if they ask me, I'll tell them. And I have a surface understanding of horoscopes, but they've never really interested me. So, I mean, I'll certainly say, and I kind of, if I'm in or was in a relationship, I might just check out, is that compatible or not? By the by, if it passed my mind, but it's not top of my mind at all.
All right, thank you. Dr.
I
Desiree?
think you're definitely right. I think in this new era, people are relying on the star signs and, to find out their, whether they are connected in some shape or form, their personalities, whether they are compatible and, in work or, just the way of life, the way of thinking, they kind of, to kind of match and to see if this person's persona, personality, and their credibility aligned with your purpose and what you want to do. So I guess like in this new era, people do, where spirituality and all of these star signs and reading up about your relationship, whether it's in business, whoever you meet and greet and, who you want to get connected to, whether it's through business or, romance or, anything like that. I think people tend to do read up a lot about the star signs and, and see if they, match with their, with their counterparts. I think that this is something that a lot of people are relying on in the new era. Believe it or not, I think this is really setting out the pace, and people really rely. The majority in this new era rely on, on the star signs to match and to see where everyone fits in. So yeah, I do. People do tend to ask those questions. What star sign are you?
So
Yeah.
we have one person who says that yes, Dr. Desiree feels that yes, this is a topic that is something that women want to talk about. We have Caroline who's a no, and we have JENETTA who's a no, correct?
And what about you, Dr. Jacqueline? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not into horoscopes. When I was younger, I would look to see if an Aries gets along with whatever the sign is, but I always went after the signs that I don't get along with. You definitely would not connect with. I'm like, yep, that's my guy. So I'd have to say no also. All right, so that's the
Yeah.
first topic, astrology. The second topic is food. What do you like to eat? Do you like to cook? What kind of restaurant do you like to go to? How do you feel about this one, Janetta?
Oh my gosh. Again, no. I think I must be the most boring person in a crowd of women, quite frankly, because, yeah, I mean, I might say, oh, wow, we went to this amazing restaurant last week and you've just got to go. And I love eating out, but I don't think it would be one of my top 5 topics of conversation. Maybe it's because I'm not a particularly keen cook. Maybe if I was somebody who liked to cook and bake, it would be a different conversation. But also like you, Dr. Jacqueline, you know, you're saying the star sign says this person and you went right for that one. I had this thing that if I was too domesticated, it would clunk me down into that label. So I deliberately didn't learn to cook nicely because I didn't.
You know what this one reminds me of? And I've seen this when we're with our family members or friends who are older, who are in another phase of their life. There's a lot of conversation around food and health issues. And what's the next meal? What do we have for the next meal? And oh, I woke up today with these aches and pains. So to me, that is not a topic that I would find a lot of interest in because I don't cook either. I said I'm done cooking. So Caroline, how about you?
Well, I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
I don't eat tons, but I'm very picky. So I do cook, and I've been told I'm a good cook. And I first left school and was a master baker and confectioner and pastry chef. So I'm very good at the baking side of things and the dessert side of things. Not that I do that much these days, really. But I love Thai food. I'm not a big red meat person at all. So I'm a white meat fish. And here I go, you know, I'm on it.
I feel like we're on a date with Caroline and she's telling us all the things she
when can we come over? Once you've moved, we'll be there.
Of course, we'll have a dining area for you, and I have all the plates and the glasses, you know, to wine and dine. But yes, it is a topic because there's a lot of things I don't eat. And there's a lot of things so I absolutely adore Thai food because it's very fresh, it's very clean. And if somebody says, you know, let's go to a steakhouse, that will completely put me off, or a pizza house. So yes, food is one of the things that, you know, is I either love to go somewhere or I hate it, but yet it is a topic.
All right, so we've got a yes, we've got 2 no's, and Dr. Desiree, where are you on this?
Well, I'm sort of in between because I think that it, you know, might be a boring topic for some, but I believe the majority, or like I would say half, because women do like to talk about food, especially when, you know, you invited them out to your home and you tell them about, you know, what you're cooking, and, you know, especially if it's their food, I mean, their face just light up. You can just hear them smiling. They are so excited, you know. So food is very interesting topic, but like I said, I'm kind of like, you know, I'm in the middle. So sometimes it can be boring, depends on the conversation, but depends on if the, you know, the people that you're talking to, if they are foodies like myself, you know, like Caroline as well. I'm a foodie and I do love seafood. So my face just light up. If you have seafood over at your house on the grill, I'm definitely coming over.
You know, it's interesting because when we think about how we change, how we evolve, I've had many dinner parties in my life where I've hosted and I've plated everything, and just incredible experiences, black tie, and I could care less now. So I'm in a different phase of my life, and it is interesting how we change. So and things falling off my desk. I apologize. Okay, so the next topic is travel. Where do you like to travel? Where have you been? Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
we got a big. I'm going to spotlight her on that one. Tell us more.
Although I have a feeling Dr. Desiree and I'm sure she's done probably a lot more traveling than I have. But yeah, I just love travel. I love that feeling once I'm on an airplane and got through all that kerfuffle through the airport, and I sit there and kick off my shoes and sit back, and I enjoy the flying. And I enjoy the destinations. To me, it's such a liberating thing to visit other people's cultures and way of living and meeting new people and having amazing experiences. So travel would be number one on my list, really. Well, one of the number ones.
All right, we hit your hot button. I love it. Let's go over to Dr. Desiree. Travel.
You know, I love traveling. It's one of my hobbies, and you know, I'm so grateful, you know, to have the opportunity to.
If it's for me, take a message. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. And of course, yeah, I do. Like Janetta said, that she enjoy learning about different cultures, and this is something that I just love to do. So when I travel to different countries, I love to learn how to cook their food, and even teaching them how to cook, you know, Caribbean food as well. I love to dress up in their cultural dresses, in their clothes, their attire. I just love to do everything that they do in terms of their culture. So I do just, it's definitely one of my hobbies. I enjoy exploring others' cultures and just traveling the world and you know and finding people who are very interested in, you know, talking to them about, you know, their different cultures and their, you know, their beliefs and everything, getting to know them for who they are and respecting their cultures as well. So I do think that, you know, this is something that women can talk about, especially when they are traveling, and they can share tips with other friends and relatives and other women as well. And this, I want to say this, that next year, I just started this event. It's called Destination Vacation Celebration, and it's for women who work hard all year round. And we choose a destination each year, and all of you could be a part of it. And you know, we go to different countries a year, and we just celebrate life. We celebrate, you know, our 1 year of hard work, all of our achievements that we achieved for the year. And we just go there as a group and we learn the cultures, we learn to cook different foods. You know, we have lots of fun. We have conferences, beach parties, you know, and that's what we're going to be doing. So I think it's a really great concept to talk about travel, because people can learn, you know, different things in terms of, you know, recommendation, you know, safety, you know, via traveling, and just learn from other people as well who probably been to a place and have the experience, and that can tell them or share their experience with them on the best food, the best restaurants, and what to look out for, the pros and the cons. I think in a conversation among women, I think, yes, women do talk about travel a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's an interesting topic. Caroline, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to be a bit different from everybody. I don't like traveling. I don't like the airport thing. I don't like having to wait around. I don't like lugging luggage with me. I'm a very bit of a creature home comforts type of person, but I like to be there. And I've had people say to me, Caroline, you don't like all the paraphernalia to get there, but you enjoy it when you're there. So I need a time machine just to take me there, without all the travel bits and all the paraphernalia. So I do like to visit different countries and be in their culture and their surroundings. And I do like warmth. I don't like cold countries. But then I don't react very well when it's really hot because I suffer with prickle heat. So it's kind of, it has to be comfortable for me. And I believe that's part of my star sign, that I have to have my creature comforts around me. So I don't like being uncomfortable. So I don't like the uncomfortable journeys by flight. Certainly when I've flown overnight to America, I found it really challenging because I lose a night's sleep and I never get it back. And it's all that stuff, all that uncomfortableness. But when I get there, I'm great. So yes, I do like to visit other countries. I just don't like to really talk about all the drama before you get there. As you get there, I just want to be there.
I love this show. Thanks for your honesty and learning more about each of you. It's great. All right, the next topic is a woman's relationships. So it doesn't have to be a love relationship per se, but any relationship that a woman is a part of, that we just love to talk about them. Let's go with the good doctor first.
And yes, I think in this new era, I think that we need to create more awareness around women connections and women relationships, because I believe that, you know, there is some work to do, because, you know, for decades, women, you know, most women, I wouldn't say the majority, still needs to work on, you know, self-awareness on how they, you know, come across and the conversations and they choose to, you know, to have with other women or to talk about them, and their mindset and the way they think and how they react and how they, you know, either overlook or look down on other women. I think sometimes I believe that sometimes women can be insecure, especially you know, around other women's, or it could be their success, or it could be, you know, talking them down because of their failures. And I think that women should support, you know, support each other. I believe this is the stepping stone that we need in this new era. We need more women to embrace and to come together as a collective, and to understand that we're all here for a reason. And if we come together and we work together, then magic can happen. You know, magic can happen, and then we can move forward and try to create that balance in the world, so that the new generation of young girls can, you know, can be able to see, you know, especially a diverse group of women as a visual component, so that they can understand that it's okay, that they don't feel left out, they don't feel that they are limited, where they all feel valued, welcomed, and appreciated. So I think that this is the stepping stone for women, especially in this new era, to raise awareness about, self-awareness about how they, you know, how they treat other women. And I had a conversation with a woman the other day, and she saw some of my today's messages online, and she was, you know, speaking her truth. She said that, you know, I had everything in life. I had, you know, the money, the power, I had the influence, and then everything just fall, you know, back down to square one, and I need to rebrand. And she said to me, can you help me? And I said, well, first you have to rebrand your mindset and also rebrand your heart. And she said, you know, I agree. Because she said, because of her ego and the way she was like level-headed and the way she treat others, and this was exactly that was coming out of her mouth. And you know, it shocked me that she was actually speaking her truth, because sometimes we don't understand ourselves, and this is why we need to be self-aware and have these personality tests, and to see, you know, how we are behaving, how we are treating others, which is so important. So I think, like, in this new era, women should have more conversations on how we are stepping out into the world, and how best can we support each other from that authentic space, generally and authentically. So yeah, moving forward.
Yeah, I love that, Dr. Desiree. We had someone on our show, Mercy Gilbert. Do you remember her? Mercy? Yeah, I just was with her over the weekends at an event. Let me get the book here. Women on the Move, telling her story. This is sponsored by Onyx Magazine, which is here. And it was amazing because all of these women came together and they were so supportive of one another. And it just, you know, just brings a smile to your face, because as we know, at least my experience throughout my life is that there were women who were definitely supportive, and there were some who just had the knife ready to stick it in your back and, you know, to laugh at you when you fall. And we really need to come together. We just had a show right before this called Talking Peace Around the World, the role that women play in helping us be a more peaceful world. And it was interesting because we have to actually really support each other. We really have to be passionate about celebrating each other's successes and lending a hand to pull up the next sister to help that person. And I think that we're getting better, but there's still some more work to do. Always. Yeah.
I totally agree. 100%. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go over to JENETTA.
Yeah, I agree. I think even 20 years ago, it was quite difficult for that to happen. And the forum has opened up more and more. The collaboration and togetherness of women is what's making things shift and work more and more for women. And that started happening over the last 5 or 10 years. And it really gladdens my heart to see women stepping together, supporting, backing more than ever, because it was more of a bun fight out there 20 years ago. If anybody stepped out as a woman, other women tended, I am generalizing, but tended to feel a bit threatened. And now it's about how can I help and support you is more common than it ever used to be. And I think that's brilliant.
Here, I agree. Absolutely. Caroline, what do you think?
Well, I'm in agreement. We are in the feminine age of energy now, and it is about the feminine energy of the world coming together. And the feminine energy is about collaboration, it's about compassion, and it's about peace and working together. So I would say that it's very much a topic of conversation for women, whereas we were very much in our masculine energy previously in terms of collective. So collectively, as JENETTA pointed out, that masculine energy of the competition and how can I win, versus, you losing, me winning. There was very much a very masculine and competitive energy that was placed in the environment. The collective was very much in that competitive space. But now it is much more collaborative, abundant, and free-flowing, and more creative.
Yeah.
And that's not just talking about men versus women. This is talking about the feminine energy, which is very different because even men have the feminine energy. And I'd like to kind of clarify that because men can also be collaborative and honouring of the other person. So I do believe that that topic of conversation of relationships is quite key now, because no man or woman is an island. We all need other people to produce and to create the bigger dream, which for me is to create world peace. And I definitely can't do that on my own.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Can I just say something? Can I just step in here and say something?
Please.
Yes. So I want to elaborate further on, when we talk about women come together as a collective and really supporting each other. And I think some women are still in the fear base. They still live in the fear. They're afraid to share their platform or to share their stage or to praise another woman. I think a lot of women talk about women's empowerment, but they're not doing, or they're not aligning with what women's empowerment is all about. They're not really supporting women. It's about self-praise, is all about me, 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 me. And then they are quite afraid. They live in fear. And dated by other women. And I believe that, what happens is that what I believe in is that when you shine your light, when you provide a platform and share that platform or share your stage or share whatever it is with that other woman, and you're giving her some of your light, because some women They don't want to do that. They don't want to give other women opportunities. They don't want to leave the door unlocked. They might be powerful and have everything, but they just shut you out. And if they feel that someone is great, they don't want to give them that opportunity. They don't want to be generous because they still live in the ego, fear, or intimidation. But when they do that, when they actually open that door and invite that sister in and shine the light on her and help her and open up their platforms and support her, they will remain in the light. They will climb higher. God will lift them up to the top. They will still remain on the top. This is sustainability. Because when you do that, you are blessed beyond measure. And I'm just saying that from experience. When you provide or share your light, your platform, whatever it is with that other woman who are coming up, and you pull her up the ladder, and you hold her hand side by side, and you say, "Come with me, I'll take you to the top." And women who are already on the top, and they can hold that other young person's hand or other woman's hand and pull her up the ladder, or even push her up the ladder, they remain on the ladder. That is one thing that I made to understand how everything works in this beautiful world. Is what you give out, is when you help and you give, you get so much in return. And women need to come out of that fear base about, oh my God, if I just give, Dr. Jacqueline the stage or give her, put her on my television show, she's going to outshine me. So therefore I have to sabotage her, or I have to snub her just because of intimidation. And then you speak about women's empowerment. You're not empowering women. So we need to really work from the heart chakra instead of fear-based, because when we do that, when we help other women, like I said, we remain, or we even be lifted higher, because when we lift others, we even go higher. So that's my message for every woman who's watching this video. Never be afraid to shine your light on others. Never be afraid to give that next woman that opportunity. Never be afraid to be generous, because we all have one life to live, and we all have a role to play in this world. It's not how we were started, what we, how we start, how we was born into this world, but it's the legacy that we're going to create and leave behind. So never overlook that woman. Never underestimate her ability, and never overlook yourself, because you are here for a reason. And whatever that reason is, continuously, you need to be brave, stand, step, and stay in your greatness. And don't be afraid to share that greatness with other women across the world. God is going to lift you up. The universe is going to bless you tremendously. So don't live in the fear and the ego and the pride. It's all about yourself. Spread it out into the world, and you will see what is going to happen for you.
Bravo, bravo. I love that. Thank you, Desiree. I appreciate that. So I'd like us to turn now to things that we love to talk about instead of things that someone else thinks that we like to talk about. And I'll just start. I love to talk about technology. I love to hear the latest and greatest and what's going on in the technical world. JENETTA, how about you?
Yeah, I'm very similar. I'm busy working a lot with AI with your global village at the moment, and it really is blowing my hair back. We're as a group testing a lot of AI apps that are in beta mode, and it's just so exciting. I love talking about my work, and as Dr. Desiree was saying, that legacy that's going to be left behind that will make a difference. And that's really what inspires me and wakes me up every day going, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go over to Caroline. What do you like to really talk about?
I really like to talk about what I do, and what I do is my hobby. It's my my interest, and it's also the way that I work with others. And so I'm literally doing what I love, and I love what I do. So consciousness exploration, my own spirituality journey, and in being in that space, I actually genuinely connect with other people in their spiritual and evolutionary journey. And so the conversations are backwards and forwards in terms of mine and theirs, and what they want to achieve, not from the sort of what I would deem as the matrix world, the world that we are in, not necessarily, but actually the spiritual realms of the world that affect us, and the way that we're living in terms of things that happen to us, how I can create things that I want to create in my life, and, sort of the whole spiritual experience of my being and my journey. And that, when I get together with somebody else and they're on a spiritual journey, that's sometimes it's challenging, sometimes it's completely incredible, and sometimes it's very rewarding. And everybody's on their own journey here. Whatever that is, it's to be celebrated, because we're all together, we're all connected.
Absolutely. Thank you, Caroline. And Dr. Desiree, what about you? What do you like to talk about?
I would love to talk about how, we can make a change, with ourselves and search within and find heart and see other people, see their heart, don't see, skin tones, see them for who they are. And when we do that, when we see each other as love, I think that's the only way forward, because only through love the world can heal. Only through love the world will know peace. And only through us, within us as human beings, as citizens of the world, when we are cleansed, when we are pure, when our mindset is filled with good intentions, it all starts with us, me and you, because we have to do it. But it all starts with inner peace. And when we find that inner peace, and when we learn to love ourselves, that is when we can change and bring that change into the lives of many. And when we bring that change into the lives of many, we'll bring that into the world. And one of my quotes goes like this: the greater his heart, the greater he is. Or let's say the greater the man, the greater his kingdom. The greater his kingdom, the greater his people. The greater his people, the greater the society. The greater the society, the greater the children. The greater the children, the greater the world. The greater the world, the greater the next generation. So it's, once again, only through love the world will know peace. So if we remove fear, ego, and pride, and replace this element with love, kindness, and give others hope, and when we protect the emotional intelligence of others, we're not only saving the world, we are changing lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very profound thoughts and comments today. I appreciate it. So as we're getting ready to close out, I think we basically busted through those topics that a man thinks that we want to talk about. And we said, no way. So I think we really need to get to know someone and understand what is important to them. And then when we know that, that's where we can really connect, I think, as opposed to coming together with things that we just created that somebody told us that's the way it's supposed to be. So they're my thoughts for today. And I thank each of you for being here. We've had your contact information out and it's posted in the comments. So I wish you a beautiful night's sleep. And I also wish you a beautiful start of your day tomorrow. So thanks again for being here. Thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Lots of
Bye.
love.
Bye.
Bye-bye.